Yep. Every time, almost say good morning. Well, it's evening for most of us, unless these West Coast folks. How is everyone today? Oh my goodness, thank you for joining me. I'm Mike Asherbrander, the proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. And I am here with one of our beloved members, April Wyett. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Mike. It's awesome to be here with you.
Are you? Because you're, after the backstage shenanigans, you're probably wondering, what did I get myself into? And that would be a fair question to ask yourself. You okay? Are you promised you're not regretting this?
There is nothing that you can say or do that would surprise me being a
Oh,
Navy wife for over 26 years. I've seen it all.
okay. Well, challenge accepted. We'll see if I can chase you off. And if I can't in 3 days, it's meant to be, dadgummit. So who we got here already? Because nobody watched the first 2 minutes, but then they do now because I say that. So we got, look, check us out. Your fan club is here. Mr. Russ Hedge. Befuddled. Yeah, go get his book. This guy is the real deal. He lived it. Man, overcome cancer and all kind of stuff. Positive attitude. Oh man, I love Russ Hedge. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you and all you do. And good old Russ found us. Who else is on here? Kelly Stanecki. I think I say that right. Wow, look at me. All right, Kelly is in the house. You're awesome. She knows so. She has such a heart for military and people in need and like all the folks she's amazing. And then we got Royce. My goodness. Wow, that guy, he feel like he's been in the hounds for 3 years. He's everywhere. Love Royce. He has a big background in radio. And he's got that voice too, where you already know he's got radio voice. Let's
I see.
see. Oh, look, Christine Bell in the future. Christine Bell, we'll show her sponsor. She's got a community coming up for anybody who's starting or scaling up a business. You're out of your mind not to be. I'm the first member. Hey, look at me. I get a badge. I should get a prize or something. You can say hi, April. You can cut me off. That's how you got to
Hey,
host. You got to.
yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Christine. Yeah, and Russ, I was on a show this morning. That was awesome. The experience with Isabel and I were on there. And yeah, appreciate your support. Royce, thanks for being here. Kelly, Leanne.
Yeah, Leanne. Why is Leanna not in the hounds yet? She's always here. All right, hey, your invitation got lost in the mail. Tell me you know it got here. Well, connect with me. I'll DM you. DM me. I promise. We'll get you hooked up. And there he is. Oh, she's a Russ Hedge fan. That's what it is. Hey, well, Russ is in the pack too. I don't know if he wants to be telling everybody, but let's see. All right. So I'll tell you what, while we're letting people pile in, I want to get to our wonderful guest. So we got Jackie Olmstead back there. Uh, and this is going to be fun because I don't know about half of what they teach and do. And I love learning new things, man. Love learning new stuff from people. And it has improved my life drastically. Just being in the pack, being around folks, being open to learning, knowing what the heck you're saying yes and no to right before you say yes and no. Life changing, right, April?
Most definitely, for sure.
All right, so April is here on the early before we roll the intro because I wanted to make sure folks knew the hounds of business, right? We're scaling up. We already know there's a lot of life changing things, business growth, interpersonal relationships, collaborations, just that sense of belonging, right? Do stuff by yourself. People lack resources, encouragement. They're on a growth journey. And, it's nice to be around people that got your back, people that align with your values. They want to be somebody, do something special. They want to hit next level. And we got folks who are already successful, but they're not done yet, right? And we have folks who are just starting off, right? And everything in between. So if you're out there and you're astray and you're trying to find your way home, hey, check us out. We have a group call every Tuesday. I have one this Thursday at 7 p.m. for Australians and everybody else who wants to do it late and plug into that. But now I've got April. She is going to be the first member of the HOB ambassadors. All right. So the hounds make me look good, right? And that's the point is we want people that can show up, rotate for 3 months, get all you can get. You help others, you help the pack. And as you can tell, people blow up doing that. And so now we're just getting more intentional as we scale the pack up to bring in more members, make an even bigger impact together. So hold on to your hat. Lots of things coming around the corner. Also, we're working with other communities. I'm in talks with other people and really getting some amazing things started with some amazing folks in networking, community building. I mean, we got like CJ, right? There's Dr. Constance Leland, Level Up Academy. She brings the publicity hub to the Hounds, Explosive, and lots of good folks. Russ Hedge, he's got a giant network, right? So we're all cross pollinating, and that's how we met April Wyett. And so, hey, if you're looking to grow your business, have a hell of a lot of fun doing it, go check us out. Scan that QR code, send me a DM, carrier pigeon, whatever it takes. So, without further ado, hey, everybody's here, even Michelle Ramos. Uh, she is here. So good to see her. She's awesome. She's not shy at all either, man. she is she's a fireball of goodness. All right, let's roll this intro. How about that? And then we'll
Sounds
get this
good.
party
Let's
started.
go. Let's get this party started.
You got it. I can't wait. Uh-oh. What happened? See, that's another that's another reason I need help. Y'all can tell I'm pushing buttons back here. Whatever. Hey, show goes on, stuff happens. Be graceful. So let me switch this out. I want to give a shout out to some very special programs and projects. And these are grassroots people. These are people who are just sick and tired of seeing things. They want to make an impact and make a difference through their business, right? Their business is an extension of who they are. So, first of all, I want to go a shout out to Rochelle. I always mess her name up. It's easy as pie. All right. Prosser. She is the CEO of Orchid Healthcare Solutions. And it's real simple. They are doing extraordinary things for folks in the space of in cancer. So their goal is to restore the patient's dignity in cancer care journey. Right. And they have a navigation service. She has oncology database. So anybody in the medical profession has anything to do with cancer oncology, even on the peripheral, you've got to connect with her. Check out the website. Amazing things. And Freedom Fight Expo, Jason Wilson, right, was it 2 weekends ago? That was an amazing experience. Folks came together, talked about mental health, shared their stories, what they've learned through this process. And so many people are cross pollinating and doing amazing things. So, Rochelle, you've been at this for 2 years. You've been a hound. Well, you've been at this for years. And you've been a hound for a long time. And I love what you do for other people. This is so hard to do when you're building from nothing, and she has done it. And now it's in orbit. People are getting impact and lives are being changed from this. So absolutely scan that QR code. Go check out Rochelle Proser, Prosser. I can spell it, just can't say it. And go support her. She's doing amazing, amazing things. If you go to the Hounds of Business YouTube channel, you'll see her with St. Jude, Miami walk run. All right, we're doing a Hounds fundraiser, so I'll be posting about that as well. Amazing organization, amazing people driving this. Okay, just give a couple quick shout outs to the one and only J. Scott Heathman, Command with Courage. Right, so elevating others. Man, this guy is the real. All right, ran an Air Force base, and what's most impressive about Scott, in my opinion, is that people would follow him just because he's a great guy. He doesn't need a rank, right? And they do. I do. I learned a lot from this man. So, long story short, his company, all right, he really inspires CEOs to frontline leaders to command with courage. All right, unleash the force within their team, ignite their innovative spirit, and skyrocket that bottom line. I know he does individual and group coaching. He's helped me out with some stuff. So, like I said, I don't say stuff I don't mean. But he can also help your team, organizational training, keynote speaking, and independent consulting. So go to his website, elevatingothersllc.com. All right, Scott, we appreciate you. Love having you in the pack, brother. What you do for everyone, simply amazing. And last but not least, been a little while since I mentioned them. All right, brand face, Tanya Eberhardt, Michael Carr. Right? Anybody the pack is not full of country people, but they bring in the country with me. I'm not alone. So amazing people. People see your brand before they meet you. And think about and the way Tanya describes this, I mean, they help me out, not just clean it up and make a pretty profile. They've helped me with my messaging, you be intentional about my mission. It changed the game over a year ago. I appreciate those guys. And here's what they say. Everybody marketing. right? Billboard would be marketing. Billboard would be a tool for marketing. What goes on the billboard is branding, and there's nobody better, heart and brilliance when it comes to that than Brand Face. So they've helped many folks inside and outside the hounds. And Jay, thank you for that. Amazing stuff. Look, I'm not even hitting buttons and things are changing in the background. Oh, goodness gracious. We'll get through this. And then last but not least, I think she's up next. Teen Bell, she has been a great Hounds of Business community leader, great friend of mine. And everybody go to Christine Bell on LinkedIn and scan this QR code with strategy, understanding how business works, laying out every detail you need so you can wake up and know what you're doing is going to move your business forward. If you don't have that confidence and you're not sure if you should do a website or this or that, you got to check this out. And this is her way of making it very affordable because these things are very expensive typically. So thank you, Christine, for making these accessible and affordable, just like Constance Leland does, right? She makes visibility accessible and affordable for folks who are scaling up. So thank you so much. And I love to see this trend happening. All right. So without further ado, if I can hit the right button, there it is. There's the right button. Let's bring these amazing ladies up and just start having this combo. There we are. Boom and boom. Jackie Olmstead, how are you today?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. How are you all doing?
Doing
You know,
awesome.
I'm excited now. I've been like excited, like chewing on coca leaves in the background or something, right? Go ahead, Jackie. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell a little bit about you and what you do today. Just give us a little synopsis.
My past?
You don't
Oh,
have to start at
oh,
childbirth or not.
past,
Just
my past.
right.
So, yeah, so I'm an artist. I'm a healer, and I bring them together to basically I'm a health coach, and I can help people with a lot of different facets. It's like holistic healing and looking at everything from a whole perspective. And I like to say that I like to help people find their divinity.
Help me out, April. So I'm
Um,
slapping the
as
desk.
soon
My
as you
stuff's
said
not working.
help to find the divinity, I was just, oh, right. Jackie and her beautiful energy. I mean, who doesn't love Jackie? So
Aw,
it's just
thank you.
so wonderful to be able to be here and co-create with both of you.
So, Jackie, how did you get to the hounds? Who invited you? How did you find us?
Well, a couple people invited me. Let's see. Actually, Christine Bell was probably the most recent person to invite me, and then also, well, I can't remember now. I think that she was the main person who asked me several times. You probably will love it. So why don't you come and go to one of the group calls? And I did, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're one of the ones that stay. Because I mean, seriously, when I do these group calls, there's like 15, and we get to about the 30-minute mark, and usually about two or three disappear, and the other ones go, "Yeah, we're crazy enough to join." So I'm glad you're one of those folks. And again, that's what I love about you all, right? You guys attract people, you educate people, you set the example, you're there for people, and that's how you grow your business. You don't have to go out there and do all this dog and pony show stuff. You're very smart and intentional about how you go out there. And that's how we do it, right? Again, we don't care if folks say yes or no. That's beyond our control. But know what you're saying yes and no to. Plug in. I see Michelina in the audience. I know she's got a lot going on. But the Healthy Wealthy Hounds, right? Perfect example of people. What April was able to join, right? We had a lot of hounds, non-hounds. We made some new friends. And the point is to get out there, share knowledge that can help us grow our business, be better in life, right? And then if folks want to know more, hell, they can go off ramp. We don't have to pitch slap every time we jump on something, right? Just hey, this is what I do. If you want to learn more, go talk to me, and it works. It absolutely. But last month we had like three clients. Somebody had three clients come out of that one audio room by just being treat people the way you want to be treated, and that's how the best way I could describe you, ladies. So uh, nobody here came here to hear me talk. They want to hear from you. So April, tell us about your kind of background because right now you're traveling. You don't have
Yes, I
you're not
am.
homeless.
if,
Yeah.
if
So
I think everybody here, but maybe people watching, on a different time zone. I'm a full-time RVer. As you can see, this is my bedroom, very intimate setting. It's all about, and this is no pun intended, right? Living with intention, what showing up for ourselves, showing up, wanting more, wanting to learn and be curious. And I think that's what sparked me about the hounds. I was curious about the diversity of all these different people and the different talents. And when I started learning more, it was like, oh, yeah, of course I want to be part of this community, because that's what I was looking for as we left Iowa. I didn't have that community any longer. And so when I connected with beautiful sister CJ, and she was like, take my hand, I'll take you there, And so I was part of the anthology, moving beyond boxes. Um, and that really helped me grow and trust in myself and grow in this beautiful community. So many numerous names to mention here. But this is what it's all about, right? Is community and co-creating and being curious and compassionate and witnessing people for who they are and seeing their skill sets, and their strengths, and learning from each other. That's what I love to do. So that took me on the podcasting route. I'm still involved with Project Iowa, which is a nonprofit in Des Moines, and we work with individuals who are pivoting careers, or especially after the global shift, that's what I call it, um, or they've had adversity in their background to where they need a career change, right? And so, speaking in wellness classes, talking about how to become more centered, how to be present, paying attention to your body, just giving some little breath guidelines, a little box breathing and things, so people can be more present and clear when they are going for that interview. And I had almost in every cohort that we had, somebody said, April, do you have a podcast? Do you have, what are you doing? You need to have a podcast. And I thought, podcasting, I've never done that before. So there's the curiosity, right? And this is actually tipping into our superpower we're going to be talking about. So having that curiosity of, I wonder how that could turn out. There must be something here if people are telling me this, even though my mind's saying, oh no, you wouldn't be a good podcaster. But here I am 3 years later, still podcasting away. So, and talking about holistic wellness, as Jackie talked about, right? It's the mind, body, spirit, and approaching people in a well-rounded way to support them on a deeper level, instead of that, just the surface level. It's really important for people to bring themselves back to them, because that's where our power is.
it sure is. And you hear me say this all the time. We think we have a marketing or a business problem, but a lot of times we have an inner problem, right? Confidence, self-love, self-worth. And that's what this show is going to help people do. Because you can master the best sales scripts on earth. But if you don't believe it, you're not confident, you're not excited, you're not connecting, it ain't gonna work. And then you think it's you. You suck. Well, you don't suck. You just don't know what you don't know. You gotta do the work, right? And that's
Exactly.
what this show is going to help people do. I want you to meet these ladies, get to know some things, gain that curiosity, and then go talk to them, learn about them, plug into their webinars, right? That's how we do it. So, real quick, before we get into you all, because this is kind of a good segue, do you guys, since you lost the community, right? You're traveling around and it's kind of on your own, as you said. Do you have do you feel different when it comes to being online, right, or virtual? Was there a learning bridge or a gap to kind of connect with people versus in person, or was it kind of naturally and seamless to you?
I have to say the global shift is what put me in the virtual world. And being a holistic healer, Most people are like, oh no, we got to do this in person.
Yeah.
I want the Reiki hands-on in person. I want the sound healing in person. I want the breath work in person. Although I find it empowering when I work virtually, because then the person really has to be present with themselves. They tune in and they really feel the difference. They're not focused on me in the room, all the things happening around them. They're really focused inward, and that's where the healing really happens. So yes, it did take an
Yeah.
adjustment to work virtually, uh, although I'm loving it. Right, I just
Me
talked
too.
to somebody from the Netherlands today. It's just, where else can that happen? Kristen Bell's here from Australia. I love it. Okay.
Yep. And you couldn't you that's what I mean. I'm the most cultured redneck you'll ever see in your life, right? Like I meet people from Laos and Spain and I'm learning all this stuff and people who have crystals. I'm like, wow, if you told me this 5 years ago, I would never believed it. But I'm doing COVID like 4 years after COVID. Like you can't I like to go out, but I I, I love meeting people. And to me, mental game is no different. And when I meet people that like I met Jackie Hallberg and several other people, and it's so strange, but it's awesome that when you meet in person, there's no difference. There really isn't. I met Rochelle, right? I met Rochelle a few weeks ago in Orlando. We picked up where we left off online. It's so wild that you can really build a connection across the internet as much as you can in person. Hell, if not, then some. So, Jackie, what's your take on it? Was it a little different for you being virtual and everything since COVID, or was it seamless? Like, how'd it go?
Well, as far as the work that I do, I actually was already doing long distance healing, and I found that it was just as powerful, if not more, online. And I like what April said, because it is true. Then there are less, distractions, things around. I mean, but in person is also very valuable and different. I think it's just a different experience. Um, so online, yes, of course, the the space can be however you want it to be. I almost feel like it can be even more creative. You can bring more along, and certainly you don't have to worry, whatever. You don't have to think about being late, or find the person's house or anything like that. Also, I mean, there's a lot of other energies involved with working in person, which I don't mind. I
Yeah.
love it. So I have to mention, by the way, I did hear of a healer who does energy work. And actually, when you go to his place to get a session, he puts you in the other room and he works on you in the other room, because literally, you're dealing with the outer, the ethereal body, as we call it, and instead of the physical. So they're just differences that I think that they're positive. They're definitely positives for both ways.
I was laughing at the comment. I was listening to you.
Which
Um,
one?
that's one clean bedroom. I said, y'all can imagine what my bedroom looks like. Holy cow! But but again, it is what you make of it. I mean, you can complain about not being able to do X, Y, and Z, or you could just embrace it and move forward. And life's hard enough, and that's what I love. You ladies swim up, downstream, right? You learn how to surf on the waves of life, and that's intriguing to me because people talk all day, but you guys do, and that's what makes me excited. So I'm willing to learn. Let me ask a good question. Let me dive into it. So let's start with April. What are some of the childhood influences that kind of help shape who you are today, right? Those early impact, the things that we go through, did that really kind of craft, your approach to wellness and personal growth?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I'm really digging your background, Mike. The trees and the cabin. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, in the San Juan Islands. I grew up on an island. And so I was immersed in trees. And actually, that was, I feel, is my first home is in the woods. I was running, catching snakes, frogs, toads, love all the things that most girls would be about, but that's life, right? That's where that curiosity came from, is how does a tadpole become a frog, right? It's that transformation, seeing it real life and nature. Nature is our best teacher, right? That's God's creation, and that's when we are tuned into source energy, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it. So for me, the woods taught me a lot, and really appreciate the beauty of the land as we're traveling and all that. But the reason why the woods was my first home was because my home life wasn't great, right? It was very disconnected. My mother was disabled, and my father was trying to make ends meet, right? Making things work the best he knew how. And so there was a lot of, abandonment, emotional challenges and things of that nature. And it wasn't until I moved to Japan with my husband that I started to tap into more of me, more of spirituality, learning more about myself, seeing the culture, going to the shrines and temples, climbing Mount Fuji, um, to see the sunrise in the morning coming up over the Torii Gate at the top of the mountain. That was a huge spiritual experience for me. And that's what I continue to seek. I'm a seeker. Let's see where this goes. I'm curious about this and that. Being a lifelong learner really helps to keep open, keep expansion going. And this is why I'm here today with you all.
Oh, I love it. You said so much there. It, my little girl, she's 5. She just started kindergarten, and we were walking the other day, and she said something really cute, like just really smart. And I said, "Wow!" I said, "You're really smart." And she turned around and said, "Daddy, I know science." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, oops, I didn't know that." Right? She wants to know how everything works. She wants to build everything. Like I was using the circular saw, the skill saw, and she just walked up to me like seriously, "Hey, Daddy, can I do that?" No, you can't reach the table. No, you cannot use the dangerous saw. But not but I'll be honest, I can't wait for her to get like 8, 10 years old so she can mow grass and fix everything. So nurture the nature, right? We lose that throughout life. And what I heard you say is you reconnected with that, through the adulthood, through some different travels in Japan. And we lose that childlike curiosity. And that's a daggum shame, right? And I found that being around you ladies and other people in the comments in the pack, it's really been beneficial to kind of realize the world's bigger than my backyard. So love you saying that. And Jackie, all right, back same to you. What is the because that's a great question for you. How does some of your childhood and even evolution in adulthood, how has that shaped who you are today and really, made the impact on your wellness and personal growth?
Well, definitely 100%. I relate to the traveling and in the moving around with April. I I was born in Washington D.C. and I proceeded to move on the average of every 10 months until hmm, probably 1995. So
Oh, wow.
I have lived. I think I counted. I think I had. I lived in 11 different states or something like that, in 8 different schools for elementary education. I've lived in the South. I've lived in the North. When I went to the South, I came from the North, and the kids were all giving me a hard time about my Northern accent. And then when I went back to the North, they all gave me a hard time about my Southern accent, because by then I had adopted and you know
Right.
really adopted the culture where I was, because I was in 6th grade. So then I moved out to the Midwest, and lots of crazy different things. always a new kid. So I feel like the best part of it is that I'm really adaptable to, almost any scenario. And so I ended up deciding to go to study abroad in college, and I went to Italy. So I spent a total of a year in Italy, and man, that was very life changing for me. And I felt like at that time was probably when I was even more connected to myself. My mom raised me to be in the healing world, and she was always into crystals. They have a crystal in crystals, and I went to a guru when I was 8 in Denver, Colorado, and I'm always connected with that that world, the spiritual world. Oh, the window was in the path. Yes, awesome. And so I just I've had a lot of experiences like that, and I've moving here to Arizona in '95 was very different culture shock coming from New York City. I lived in New York City for 5 years, and so pretty much I've adapted to a lot of different things, and strangely, I've decided to stay here in Arizona, and it's the longest I've ever lived in one place. And now I just travel. I do my last trip was to Turkey to visit family who's stationed there, and that was phenomenal. Some of you guys follow me, probably saw the pictures, but
Yes.
so yeah, I feel like for me, it's always an enrichment feeling that what can I appreciate where I'm at, and then the people around me. I like to, well, I use my, perceptions to feel where they are so that I can show up better for them and or myself, by the way, determining whether or not I want to be in that space. So really and yeah, there's a lot of facets to my childhood that shaped me, of course. So that would be the biggest journey. And here I am, Phoenix, Arizona, and I love it. I love the contrast to the desert and the different flora and fauna, as they say, from all the different places I've lived. So,
Oh, Phoenix. Barbie Engel. She is big in like uh, rare disease and pain and chronic pain, and she's running for state rep. So, you
oh,
know, there you go. Yeah, so there you go. She's a hound. She just joined, and it's amazing. So,
oh, well, we'll have to
oh,
connect. Yes, I'll have to
oh
find
yeah.
her. Um,
I'll tell her, hey, there's voters in here, man. You better you better stay in there, Barbie. All right. So, see, who knew? Um, But hey, by the way, you gotta put that crystal thing up because that's what's messing up
oh,
our internet. That's
oh,
that,
just
it's either that or Christine Bell's kangaroo named Skippy chewing on the internet cord. I'm not sure which one. So I
so,
thought you were gonna say something, April. You're not
Oh,
gonna say nothing.
I absolutely love crystals too. I have a Lumerian crystal here
ooh,
that I picked up. That, yeah, I really enjoy using this with the distance Reiki as well. So,
mhm.
yeah, Jackie, we'll have to have a separate conversation about all the things,
Yes,
and
yes,
people can connect with us about all those things too. So,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, well, now we have more time to talk on the show since I don't talk for 60 minutes before the show. So this is great. Everybody's like, woohoo, we get to hear. Yes, see, I'm a learning human being. All right. So uh this question's for you. I'm gonna start off with, and you can interject. This is a fun conversation. People are loving it in the comments. Thank you guys. Um, so can you tell us more about your background as a wellness guru, right? So what led you to leave that 9 to 5 traditional hustle to do, to focus on that holistic transformation?
is a question for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to think it was me and it was Jackie's.
So nice. Look at the
Ah,
politeness on this show. Oh, sweet
so
Well,
Jesus.
I would have to had him repeat it if it was for me because I.
went out. Um,
I'm
Yeah,
just
it's a really good question, because after I returned from Japan the second time, we lived there for two different tours. I saw a spiritual counselor, and she told me that I'd be really good at Reiki. And I said, "What's Reiki?" Right? This was in 2008, and before Google. So I had to actually go to a library. Can you believe it? And they had a book, very small book, and I read it, and as I was reading it, I was just shocked. It was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly how I feel about people, about animals and plants. And so I found a local Reiki master, and I received my first session. And when I left that, it was like I was like, just everything was bright colored. Everything was vibrant, kind of like just being on a natural high on steroids, kind of. And I thought, there's something to this, and I want more of this for myself. So I've said this before, on CJ's show, like, I'm selfish. I do things that I like for me, and then I share it with other people. So I that was with Reiki and the sound healing and the biodynamic breath work, because I felt the difference. I actually felt the healing, the shift within me with each of those. And I knew that there's something more to it. I wanted to bring it to other people. So that's kind of the guru part. And then that brought me into thinking about the science with the mind body connection, going into mindfulness and awareness, and our nervous system, how it's being activated by daily stimulations, and how to bring us back into the parasympathetic, to the rest and digest, where the body can heal naturally. And so I studied more about emotional intelligence and, you know, health psychology, and all those aspects. And also, when I did come back to the States, then my husband retired from the Navy, and we moved back to his hometown in Iowa. And I went back to school. And I kind of wrote about that in a chapter, in that Moving Beyond Boxes anthology with CJ and Susanna Don, um, The Lion's Roar, because that's when I realized I wanted more for myself. That, yes, I loved my husband. I was a devoted Navy wife. I moved a total of 19 times, across the countries, different states. I did everything for him. And now it was time for me to step up and do something for myself. And it came out as a lion's roar. So if anybody's interested in that, definitely read that chapter in that anthology with all the other amazing co-authors in there. Um, and then that's when I went back to school. And then I realized, I kind of like this. I'm learning things that I want to learn. I think it's different when you're older and you go back to school. I was in my 40s. And people thought, some of the
wow.
students, when they walked in the room, they started asking me questions. They thought I was the professor. I was just like, no, you'll have to ask the professor when they show up. And it
Oh
was
no.
embarrassing for them. But it was, I really enjoyed going back and learning, and finding out more about things that I wasn't aware of. That's, again, the lifelong learner, and expanding, right? Uh,
Right.
so that's kind of the wellness guru. And then I serendipity, or law of attraction, or connections, however you want to call it. I was able to work with a nonprofit in Des Moines, working with at-risk youth, and
Right.
enhancing their work readiness skills. But they had very diverse backgrounds. They faced a lot of adversity. And so it was kind of a Band-Aid approach. And, I still had my personal private Reiki and sound healing and biodynamic breath work going on. And I figured that, you know, they could only get so far. And it was because of the trauma that prevented them to move forward because they hadn't healed.
Yeah.
And so they would get so far and then they would kind of fall off. And at first I wondered, well, what am I doing wrong here? I'm supposed to be supporting them. I'm this, you know, career counselor person. And here they're falling off. And then I realized, oh, it's something deeper, you know. So then I decided to take it to my own business, to start my own business, living with intention. So that way I could support those who were seeking the help, that wanted more for themselves, that had, you know, kind of awakened to, there's something happening here and I just need some guidance, you know, to help kind of move that veil back so they could see themselves in a different light. And so this is what I love to do. And so that's how I shifted from the 9 to 5. Yeah.
That makes total sense. And by the way, yeah, I experienced a lot. I did hypnotherapy. I mean, I did all kind of crazy stuff because I wanted to be better. Right. I realized that my businesses and the hounds community and life wasn't going to improve to the level that I was willing to improve. Right. If I couldn't improve and get better, then how could I expect that to get better? Right. So on that note, ladies, April, who is it you can help? Like CEOs, entrepreneurs. This is for everyone, right? Like you guys work with industry leaders. Don't think this is just some weirdness that people do in a, you know, like Tai Chi by the tree. This is stuff that like serious professionals encounter and deal with because they deal with gobs of stress, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Life changes. Well, who do
exactly.
you help?
And it's really important because, and it's not anybody's fault for kind of hitting that wall of, I'm doing all the things, yet I'm still not seeing the progress, or I feel that there's something still missing. That's when the inner work, I say working from the inside out, comes in. And that's with the mindfulness, understanding about emotional intelligence. We're talking about neuroplasticity here. We're literally changing the dynamics of the brain, right? Rewiring that with mindfulness practices, with breath work. So that way they have more of a support within themselves
Right.
to self-regulate when they're in those meetings or when they're going to have a crucial conversation. That's a good book, by the way, if anybody's read that, with somebody, because right away the nervous system becomes heightened, right? It'll go on even before you start thinking about it, because subconsciously, you know, it's setting us up to protect ourselves. And it's not right or wrong for feeling that way. It's just understanding with that emotional intelligence what's happening with the body. And so that way, taking that breath, doing some mindfulness practices that I walk them through, giving those cues, that's the superpower. This is what we're here to talk about today, right, Jackie?
Absolutely, for sure. For all of that.
Jackie, I want to go to you because she's gonna get away with being quiet. She likes to sit back there and listen. We're gonna make her talk because she got a lot of good stuff to say. But you unpacked a lot. I love self-regulate. I mean, because we're human. We want to lose our stuff. We want to get mad. I mean, I was tempted the other day, but when you can stop yourself, respond versus react, right? And this is where this isn't bullshit. I just want to say that like this, what they do is not bullshit. It is absolutely rooted in science and studies and experience. Yeah, I'd never been exposed to these things. And then I was like, wow, this makes sense. I mean, think about it. What makes more sense? Learning something that may be different and odd to you, or kicking a stray cat on your way home because you're all stressed out, right? And you're not happy at home. Think about it. Right. So again, top leaders, people who are trying to succeed, lead organizations. This is not goofy. This is stuff to reconnect so you can be a stronger, more foundational person. So to you, Jackie, same kind of what do you have to add to this? Because I know you got a lot going on. Hey, I'm here to learn, not talk. Go ahead.
There's I definitely agree with all the things April was talking about. I also work with myself, breath work. I am a Reiki master teacher, but I'm also a polarity therapist, and that's actually hands on, even more than Reiki is. So, and it involves a lot of movement of the limbs and the body and breath work, and I do sound healing as well. I know April does. I actually have to learn a lot more about her methodology too, but I'm of course in tune with it. I know what she's doing, just not exactly how. But I put crystals around. And they've actually, so I love that you mentioned that it's, it is all scientifically proven to have validity. Crystals, absolutely, they use crystals in watches. I actually didn't know that till I had a sound therapy class. Crystals in the computer industry are very important and actually crucial. So if you can imagine having a crystal that can help you to tune into what's going on with your body, what's going on around you. And I mean, I've had myself for breathwork sessions a lot of shifts in my own self and with my own healing, where identifying ethereal guides that I did not know and hearing a name, and then we get into the more ethereal stuff. But I mean, it's a tool. They're all different tools for getting to where you want to go, which is first, I love what you said too. It is also discovering who we are, and this is our superpower. So if one person, if one of us can see and help you to see how amazing and godlike and divine like you are, and hold that space for you, so that then from that space to be able to grow and have conversations with yourself, for example, from that space, or simply to hear the negative dialogue that all of us have, that we grew up with, that we heard somewhere, that's full of crap, and
Hmm.
and just like fear, we all have the fear, we have the negative stuff. So it's how we deal with it now. How can we, it's all going on in the background, but then to be able to work with it so that it doesn't drive the car. We as adults, and we as the more spiritually evolved personality, can drive the car instead of my 5-year-old self who wanted to just throw mud at neighbor.
Yep,
you know Fun stuff like
I
that.
do know.
So I don't want an adult today. Oh, okay. Who am I? What am I feeling today? So these like kind of dialogues that we can have with the person. I mean, a session I had recently was with a Bank of America executive, and it's helping her to find her intentions, find her space, find what's going on with her in a different way than just talking therapy. It's just
Right.
they're valid. That's all valid, but perhaps one or the other is not helping as much as you need. And so that's what I also love about energetic healing. We're not only are all energy healers different, but each client is different and they all need something different, and it's up to us to figure out, or at least ask some questions. Just like I'm sure, Mike, I'm sure when you're prospecting a new client, you ask them questions about their financials and the details about, well, what do you do when this happens, or what's going on in this thing here, what is that, an account that you haven't looked at? I mean, I can only imagine.
Right.
Well, let's look at it all as a whole, because if we can gather at least an awareness of everything, then we can work with it and say, well,
Right.
what would we like to do with that, and grow. And the thing with the body, of course, and I know April knows this as well, but our bodies hold everything that we've ever experienced. And if we haven't processed it, like when something happens, like someone passes away, if we hold that in at the age of 6, guess what? When you're 60 or whatever, and you haven't dealt with that, like it's still in there, and let's look at it and we can help you feel it, because I mean we're here on earth to feel things and to grow. So
You bury if you bury your head in the sand and then you pull it out, it's just going to be worse. That was my life. I'm not preaching. I'm saying, hey, I drove off the bridge. Don't do that, right? I'm saying the bridge is out. So again, we have to process. If you look at some of the toughest people, successful people, they'll talk about this if they're comfortable, right? Like even David Goggins, the toughest man in the world, right? He's like, hey, I had PTSD from the military. He said I had it from childhood. And it's okay to, it's more than okay, you got to face this stuff, and there's many ways to do it, and you two are great solutions for people who are burying their head in the sand, because it's sad, but that's how we respond as people, pride and not knowing where to turn and etc., and it's sad. But you said the key word, maturity. That's what it's all about. Because yeah, my little 8-year-old, oh, he was coming out like crazy when I was sick last week. I ain't gonna lie, he needed a hug. He was upset. It was like a temper tantrum in kindergarten. But I'm not 8. I'm a grown man, right? I can respond. I know how to breathe. I know when to take a step back, right? And I didn't know that a couple years ago. So the influence here, April. I know you got something to add. Go
Mm,
for it.
such good stuff here.
Yeah.
And Jackie, when you were talking about, our bodies, and yeah, they hold everything for us. Although we are so detached from our bodies, a lot of people are up in their heads because they're thinking about everything else around them or other people, or they're distracted, or I'm just saying it, they're watching the news. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just
Yeah.
bringing it back to ourselves, because our bodies holds everything for us, and it doesn't hold the answers, but it holds the key to the healing. So I had, as you were talking about the body, that Bessel van der Kolk wrote the book Body Keeps a Score. And if you really are interested in that, look that book up. It's amazing, and it's science-based. Talks about how the PTSD, how the fascia, the tissues in the body actually hold memory. And I actually experienced that. I was in a horrific car accident when I was 9 years old. I was thrown out the back window, and my mother, because she was disabled, drove with both feet, one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. And so I was under the car. She didn't know it. And people were on the other side of the car saying, turn off the engine, and she went through the gears. And I was like in the hurdler's position, to where my left leg was underneath the rear back passenger tire, And so she literally drove over my leg twice. But I didn't ever
Oh,
remember how I got outside the car. And it wasn't until through the biodynamic breathwork training that a wonderful supporter that was helping me when I was breathing, she followed something in my lower back and went all the way up to my heart, back behind my heart, pushed in, and I'm consciously breathing, right? It's not the out of your body breathing, it's a connected breath that we use in the BBTRS. And so I'm aware, but it's kind of in a hypnotic state. And all of a sudden, my body went in this contorted shape. And within a flash, I saw myself and felt myself go out of the window. My body held that for this 9-year-old child that wouldn't have been able to process that trauma.
Sure.
And so I was able to really appreciate my body. It did not re-traumatize me. The biodynamic breathwork does not re-traumatize. It actually helps to melt away those tensions, to ease the body, so that way things can be released organically. So that's just one of my many experiences, and just It's just incredible what our bodies do for us. So have more appreciation for your body. I invite everybody, when you take a shower, when you take your next bath, really focus on your body. Say thank you. Thank you as you're washing your body, right? This is how we're walking this earth. This is how we're having these human experiences. Don't judge
Oh,
it. Yes.
no, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. You were on the roll. Kinga said it best. Holy crap. Yeah, that's what everybody was saying. Holy cow. And you made so much sense right there. You made total sense. Um, golly, it I experienced the same. It was with the hypnotherapy. You know, it's one thing to do surface level therapy and talk about it in the, in your rational brain. It's another thing to take a travel back in time, right? And connect with all that crap. Oh, it's scary. And I know why most people don't do it. They rather read a Brene Brown book and just kind of go on with things. It takes a lot to go deep into it and really try to process the things you learn and read, and you need a guide. I mean, you really do. That's what you can learn a lot on your own, but once you get to that point, guys, get a coach and guide, contact these ladies, because amateurs do things alone. Top level professionals and athletes, man, they have coaches, multiples. And that's what this is about. It's like, hey, if you're stuck or you're not happy, or, you know, hey, go find someone else who can relate to it, right? Someone who's been through it like you ladies, and also learn how to help others. You helped yourself, right? That's impressive. But now you know how to relate and help others. So if you're struggling, nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you that ain't wrong with every other human on planet Earth. If you have two choices, you can either stay in that and while life sucks, or you can deal with that, right, and go to another level. And that's where I'm at. I don't think you ever arrive, but I'm on that journey. Every time something happens, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to learn something. And April told me the other day, she was giving me tip. She said, take your shoes off and make sure you feel your toes in the grass, which I thought was hilarious because I don't wear shoes anyway half the time, right? So, from Kentucky. So, yeah, but anyway, these things work. Oh my gosh, man. Ask questions don't be shy in the comments. And I know we're having a lot of technical glitches. I see a lot more people across platforms. They're not coming through. So we're not ignoring you. We just, it is what it is. So appreciate you for being here, guys. Um, so let me ask Jackie, and we'll get on this because, man, I could do this forever. I feel like we just got started and it's almost 8. But so what process do you use, right, to keep a connection with your higher self, right, and the vibrations of the true nature? What kind of process do you use, and how people kind of learn from that?
uh, Absolutely happy to answer that. I also do want to mention, by the way, that I also don't want to cause any alarm in anybody as far as when you approach something in your body. That it's always the right time. And like you mentioned, April, when you weren't ready when you were that young to perhaps deal with it at the time. So when the right time is when it'll be revealed. I've had dreams when things were revealed to me, and I'm like, oh, and I can deal with it at this age. But so, which leads me actually to one of the things that I do is I do journal, I do write. I don't. There are I go through phases where I'm writing a whole lot more. Right now, I'm doing a lot of like really focused, laser focused type of journaling, writing about things. And definitely, like Mike said, an accountability person, a coach. I mean, there's all kinds of names for people who do work like that. I had a creativity coach. She was helping with all of the above: spiritual coach, health coach, mentor, Reiki master teacher, polarity therapist, all the things. Um, and the biggest, also another really huge thing I'm doing ever since I was diagnosed with celiac disease is the food that I eat. So I eat as much as possible superfoods. I eat as much superfoods as possible. I keep myself just as healthy as possible with the food, and filtered water, and all of the things that go along with that. And movement. April mentioned the fascia. The fascia, absolutely. There's a movement called the Human Garage movement, by the way, and I'm I'm doing a lot of those type of movements, and they're easy. They're not things that are, it's not necessarily hard yoga or anything like that. It's something that you can adapt to. So movement, food, writing, an accountability person, and I do also, I do want to say, I mean, we're also multifaceted financially. Take care of yourself financially so that you don't have to worry that things are, I do freelance. I charge by the hour right now, but I am also modifying what I do so that it won't be quite as much hourly type of work, you know? So, and so as far as, well, I don't know, Mike, did you want me to answer a question about like major issues with people as long as we're there? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
What are some of the things like people who are stressed out? Like, what are some of the symptoms that you help those folks with? So, people listening in the audience on YouTube, other channels, if they feel this way, they should come see you, or they should, what do you hear most people complain about or open up about that's driving them crazy that they can use healing?
definitely stress. That's number one. And the cause of it can be all sorts of things, but can lead, starting at gut health can lead with what's your schedule like? Are you actually giving yourself time to breathe? um, or things like that. So, and helping to implement maybe whatever will help the person the most. If there's something regular that I can prescribe, so to speak, just
Right.
recommendations about how to help X, Y, or Z. But the biggest thing is definitely stress for me. I'm noticing.
Yeah,
What do you,
I
what do
have to
you,
echo that totally, Jackie. The overwhelm, anxiety, um, this brain fog, scattered thoughts,
Mhm.
all of that affects us physiologically. Just the body's responding to our thoughts. And so it's really important to find an anchor of support. So this is where I come in, and I've helped people again self-regulate. What does that look like? You might wonder, So it's simply just, where is your breath right now? Even for people listening, where is your breath? Where do you feel it? Is it in your upper chest? Is it in your mid chest? Is it in your belly? Just breathing in a little bit deeper, lower, exhaling a little bit longer. So that way, that right there puts you in the parasympathetic nervous system. That helps that rest and digest. I say it's like a snow globe effect, right? You shake up a snow globe, you got all those flakes flying around. And then when
Mhm.
you pause and you relax, what happens to the flakes? They settle. There might be a few floating around. That's okay, right? There's always going to be a few floaters, um, because that's how our mind works, although it won't be as scattered. You could see more clearly, right? That snow globe, you can see the little figure or whatever the image is in that snow globe clearly now. You can focus on what the next step is. You can feel a little bit more confident and calm about your next move, or however you want to proceed. And that's what I do. That's what I've noticed, right? People having that overwhelm or even depression, the lower, because it's either going to be hyper, excuse me, or
Right.
hypo. And so shut down, so then that's when we really focus on the resourcing more so than any active engagement. So that way people can get that sequence back into their bodies, connecting back to that resource within themselves.
That makes total sense and eloquently said. Let me put it in redneck speak. Right? Us type A alpha man or woman, always going through to be successful and chomping and never slowing down. Yeah, we don't relax. Honestly, I've come to the conclusion that if I learned how to relax a long time ago, I would have I would have been better off in general because I don't. It's like, well, here's how it goes. And people in the comments, if you can even make a comment now, um, answer this. It's well, I can't take a 5 to 10 minute walk because then I'll be behind on my work. That's how entrepreneurs, that's how business owners, high level executives, that's what we're subconsciously thinking. Well, go put your toes in the sand. Right? I know where to stick your toes. Look, I'm busy. I'm running a business. That's how we think. But what the reality of the matter is, it's not because you know what? To be honest, I stared at my computer screen for 15 minutes and did nothing. That's 15 minutes I could have went and actually enjoyed it, reconnected, and then come back and been productive. I hope you folks, I'm not tooting this on. I'm just saying, hey, somebody out there is going, whatever. Yeah, I'm telling you, this just being conscious, just asking, hey, what if? Right? What if I didn't do this? What if I did something different? Right? What if I went on one of your podcasts and listened to something, while I'm in the car screaming at the other drivers for being slow? What if I put on a meditation or something and tried that? Why not? What the hell you got to lose?
Or grab a crystal.
Yeah, screw up Mike's internet. Yeah. No, use the black crystal. Whatever. Onyx. Is that onyx? What is that?
Obsidian.
I was close. I was in the rock family.
Well, yeah, it looks very much the same. I wouldn't have known unless they told me.
Yeah, well, you might want to get it tested. They could have just lied. They said we're out of onyx. Just
Oh no.
put the label. That's why everybody's acting weird today. We got the wrong crystal. All right. So let me get to this because you ladies, so you all have books and podcasts and so tell the folks what you have available, what they can tap into and check out, and then we'll get to our signature question. We got to have a round two. This was way too short. So Jackie, what do you have? You have podcast and what else?
Yeah, Earth Mama, well, Adventures of Earth Mama is my podcast. EarthMamaLiving.com is my website where my blog lives. I also have my shop on there where actually I sell my artwork on there. And I do have a journal. It's called The Companion to Earth Mama Living, and that is on Amazon. That's and I'm on social media, of course. You guys are seeing me on, I am on YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Did I say that already? And a couple others that are not as big. So
Yeah, and you're in the hounds of business. I gotta brag. I mean, come on. Seriously, look who I run with. Even if you don't like me, go like the other hundreds of like. There's plenty of people go around. You don't have to like. It's not about me. Kinga said it best. See, she's a proponent of this stuff, and she is very analytical, very driven, right? That kind of like we were talking earlier. But hey, she saw value. I mean, we all have crap, dude. We all have it. Might seem somewhat. I see people in their 50s and 60s unraveling because of what April and Jackie were saying, because they have stuff that they just keep burying. Don't do it. Don't do it. You want to be a better husband, wife, business leader. You go work on your shit. That's my uneloquent way to put it. All right. But dadgummit, stop because there's too much out there. You can make a huge impact. All the crap that we see and we don't like, if you go work on you, you can make a difference in that stuff. And I'm telling you, if you have the courage to work on you, you got more capabilities than you realize. Your limitations are self-imposed because working on myself, God, that's awful. That's nasty. It can be hard, but I had guides. I had Heidi Mark, got to give her a shout out, right? The gentle rebel coach is anything but gentle, right? I mean, because you're dealing with crap, but she was a great guide. She helped me through it. I didn't implode. And this is where you guys come in, right? Help people be better people, happier people, right? The best self. That's the kind of way to put it. So, April, what do you have? You got the podcast still rolling? Where can people find it? What else you got?
Yeah, it's a Living with Intention podcast on mindbodyspirit.fm. And also, I have videos up on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, Living with Intention. And I'm going to start the breathing room next Thursday in LinkedIn. And so, Jackie, I would love to have you as a guest expert there to talk about, this is what we do. We talk about breathing. We talk about why it's important. Give little quick practices so that way people have something they can use, take away with that. So I'm starting that next Thursday. And of course, my website is livingwithintention.co. And yeah, the Hounds of Business. And the big thing, as Jackie was talking about, all the things, right? The meditation, breath work, movement, journaling, all that. Well, guess what? I have a Bali retreat coming up in November,
Oh
the
wow.
11th through the 17th. That includes all of that, including the biodynamic breath work that I talked about. Now, I don't think anybody's going to have the experience I did during that retreat. I was very deep into it. It was a training. This is more lighter experiences. So to get into the felt sense of the body, to help melt tensions away. So the retreat is called Reset and Restore Your Mind and Body in Bali. And so we're doing Osho meditation. That's not sitting there for 2 hours quiet. It's moving and breathing with music. So that way it's more of a meditative state when you're moving, doing these certain moves. And then we'll have some energy experiences, ways to move energy. So that way when people leave the retreat, they have tools that they can use for the rest of their lives. And the best part is we take a midday break for 2 hours to where you can do anything you want in those 2 hours. So you can go walk on the beach, read a book by the pool, hang out with new friends. This is what it's all about, you know. So that way you can return back home and feel good and revitalized, because that's what we all want to feel, right? We want to feel good.
Daggum straight. And just hearing you all talk, man, puts me at ease, right? I can I can imagine just actually getting to work with you guys. I can't wait. I have to find a way. I have to trade or something. So let's get to the signature question. I could talk to you all forever. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, if you all haven't connected with Michelle, she's a fairly new hound. Uh, she's an amazing individual and just so grateful. And guess what? It was Dr. CJ, right, with a little super cape running around just recruiting winners everywhere. So, all right, so here's the signature question. Again, there's people out there, they're struggling, they're silently keeping it inside of them. You know, people are struggling inside. What's the first baby step? What's a little thing they can do to really start that journey, right, to healing and becoming happier and more harmonious? What do you think, Jackie O?
Hmm. The first really easy thing for sure is the breath work and noticing. I love that April mentioned that too, because even during the call, even this call, oh yeah, I'm not breathing. And I mean, it's a conscious thing. So no matter where you are, you can immediately just notice. Is it shallow? Because a lot of us just breathe really shallow, but really slow and like shallow. But once you get more, you'll notice a difference. You will. So that would be the biggest thing right away, I would say.
Well said. Just be aware. That the lack of awareness is astounding. Well, in my own life, people I've worked, we've all worked with people or had friends that kind of like seem like they got mad cow, and you're like, what the hell, right? And it's because it's a lack of awareness, right? They're not even aware that they're doing it. It's like a nervous tick or some kind of habit. It's just, and when you're aware, you're just like, oh wow, the elephant in the room, shit, there it is, right? That can
Mm.
change your whole daggone life. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, the folks that are listening and watching this, they get it. So what you're saying has absolute merit. I want people to plug in, learn, go to your podcast, man, read this stuff. And again, even if you're skeptical, good. I like skeptical people, but don't knock it till you try it, man. Learn it. All right. So April, same thing to you. Um, what is it? What kind of baby steps can someone take? What kind of things could they do to really start facing their, for lack of better words, shit, right? And to move on forward, to heal and to be happier.
Well, I have to say, spot on, Jackie, right, about the awareness and the breathing. Awareness is key. I think also people need to give themselves a break, right? We just judge ourselves, and that compounds. You know, what we resist persists. And so when we have that awareness of, oh, my shoulders are tight, instead of talking about the story of why, because of that person or because this happened, like your body is your body's responding, right? Listen to your body, lean in and listen. And then take that breath, move your body, right? And I always say, put your attention on your intention. So we all have great intentions in our lives to do this, to start a healthy practice, to start more self care, to do whatever that is. But where is our attention to that? It's usually squirrel. I posted a post today about a squirrel. It's funny. Um, but
Hey,
you just bring it back, reroute if you need to, focus on your intention, show up for yourself. Before you get out of bed, ask yourself, how do I want to feel by the end of the day? Do I want to feel calm? Do I want to feel more energy? Set yourself up before you even start the day. Put your attention on your intention. And I just have to say it and keep living with intention.
Beautiful, beautiful.
it is. Even before I was coached by all of you guys and influenced, there was a book called One Word, right? Real short book. It was read. And that word has been over year after year intentional. Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Boy, you get real deep with just asking that starter question, right? This is what I mean. It's just get real. Pull your head out the sand, right? Hey, what's going on here? If this happens every day of my life, maybe I'm doing some shit to allow it, right? Like, so what is causing this? I don't want this to happen, but what is causing it? And that's what I've been on this whole year, right? Cats meow, dogs bark, people. You can't control that. You can't stop that. But when you get you right, boy, you can really respond well. You can handle it. You can not throw a man baby fit like Jackie over there, Olmstead was talking about, right? You can learn and just leave. Hell, that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. Just leave. I hear nonsense or see a stupid text or something. I just go. I don't, or I come back to it later. I might not. But again, I controlled me. This could have been an issue. I could have made it worse, but we learn how to slow down. We learn how to relax or just accept the crazy ass selves we are, right? Until we can get better on our own volition. See, look at me quoting principle and shit. Y'all rubbing off on me. I tell you. So, all right. Any last thing that you ladies want to share with the audience? Dr. News here. I know she was working with Michelina. So glad to have you here. Kinga's your new best friend, and that's a good friend to have. Kinga, make sure y'all connect. And then we should have brought James Valentine up here and Lisa Marie. We'll just have a big old party here soon. So what would you like to add? We'll close out.
I'm just all I gotta say is I'm just so grateful to be here, and I love you too. It was fun to do this, so thank you for setting this up, Mike. And I'm glad to be co-creating with you guys and also the rest of the hounds as well.
See, look, Rochelle's here. Randy House of Paper Plates is here. And I can't see them. We can't see them. So tons of people watching. Appreciate you guys. These ladies are absolutely amazing. They really are.
Yeah.
Look,
And we got a
Rochelle,
message from Natasha Saley. She said, watch or listen to our podcast. Isn't that the first thing they should do? That's one thing that we forget to promote our own stuff. So thank you for saying that.
yep.
Yeah, connect with me. I'm here. I always am. And I also offer a complimentary introductory session for the BBTRS breath work to see if it's a good fit for you. And I take it very seriously. So there is a health form that you have to fill out. We're talking about, sensitive traumas here. But this is a safe space that I create with very intentionally working with people and honoring them and their bodies and how they need to express that for themselves. So thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, Jackie, for co-creating with me and all the lovely people listening and tuning in. I so appreciate you. And yeah.
Absolutely. You all are just, who doesn't love them? Come on. Again, if you want to be surrounded by heart centered, high level professionals, people that you can talk to, help you, not just in business, but in life, right? Just be connected to folks. We have folks in the pack that kids were getting bullied, right? We had experts help them to figure that out. We've had all kinds of amazing stories throughout. And when we're better, happier people and our kids aren't getting bullied, you know what we do better? Business, everything better, right? So again, thank you guys. Appreciate you. If you're curious about the pack, you're wondering what all this is about. You don't have to take my word for it. Go talk to another hound, right? It was funny because April became the ambassador, the pilot ambassador, and then she opened up and put that on her profile, and people reached out. And I'm like, yeah, because not everybody wants to reach out to the same person, right? People connect with people differently. They might see her and say, wow, I'll talk to her. They see me and go, nah, no, thank you. And that's okay. This is not about us. This is why I love the diversity that we're creating here, ladies. So appreciate you. Um, yeah, Kinga, all the folks who are here, who can't comment, who've been commenting. Thank you for the support. You guys show up like no other. You really do. And it's amazing. Um, we're all busy, but we spend time with each other, and man, that pays off. So it's been my pleasure to interview you, ladies. Thank you for what you do for me personally, who you are, and what you do for the packs. Unbelievable, and I can't wait to put this out there in YouTube and promote the hell out of it because people need it. They do, and families are suffering, people are suffering, and this is not necessary. Go seek help. Go seek some knowledge and wisdom, right? So, Rochelle, we got you. All right, we love you. You are doing amazing things in cancer and oncology and helping people. And wow, you are absolutely amazing. So, thank you all for letting me know she's here. And let me put this up one more time before we roll. All right, there's exceptions to every rule, right? As Dr. CJ was saying. But we're looking for those folks, and probably about 5 of them. We're going to have a meeting soon about the Hounds Ambassador, and what you can do, but what you can gain from doing that. So lots of folks have a lot of success stories. People find jobs and help business explode. We're trying to find that inner circle of folks who can bring us to the next level. All right, we've done a lot of amazing things, but we want to go on a higher scale. We want to do this on a bigger audience. We're international already. We're just not everywhere. All right, so if you're wanting to take your business to the next level, you want to help others, you want to push people up. Hey, nothing better than the inner circle, the people that can do this. And then, hey, after that 3 months, you graduate, right? You're going to get business. You're going to have things going on. And there's a new class, right? We're going to rotate this thing. It's worked so well for Dr. CJ's 50 inspirational LinkedIn connections that we're going to keep this going on, all right, and implement it in the house. So thank you, Dr. CJ, for your brilliance, for testing these things out. Thank you, April, right, for being, we just kind of knighted her and said, hey, there you go. So she's going to kind of help me head this thing up. Love having you as the leader, right, helping this out and really helping me move this forward. And Jackie O, all right, hey, get your little time, get everything together, right, so you can join us because we love you too. So appreciate all you guys. Hey, be good. Next week we have Harsha D. I can't say his name to save my life. Amazing guy. He's in the hounds. He's been through a journey and back, but man, learn a lot. So if you like this discussion, oh, you're gonna like that one too. So tune in next Wednesday. All around guy. He's like Daniel Reluso from Rocky for Karate Kid. He's an amazing dude. I met him through guess who? Dr. CJ through Sandra Gonzalez. So birds of a feather flock together. So love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you, ladies, for staying for 10 hours. I appreciate this. It was a fun combo. And we will see you guys on the next one. All right. Be good. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.